Hey everyone, and welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm Niki, and that's Kerri with me, and we are talking notaries today. How are you? First of all, how are you doing, Kerri?
Good. This is something that's been at the front of my mind for a while, is notaries and what their importance is in the transaction. So it's going to be a great topic.
They get left out a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they don't get left out. I mean, they're actually a huge part of it, but I don't realize how important they can be. And we're sitting here today. Both of us are in the Bremerton area or Silverdale area of Kitsap, and we actually have a beautiful day today. It's sunny and shiny and not too cold either. So it's like,
it's close to 60, believe it or not.
I'm not ready for winter. Okay, so let's jump on in and start talking notaries. So first of all, I mean, pretty much everyone I think knows what a notary is. I mean, it's a person who's had like training and that they're certified so they can actually know, like, to get documents signed. You might have a better definition. Go ahead and give that one to me.
Yes, they verify people's identification, which is huge. When you're signing loan documents, you want to make sure that the right person is signing and that it's not somebody fraudulently purchasing a home. So their first thing is they'll sit down with you. They have a little logbook that they have to put everything into, and then they will take down your driver license number and you have to sign. And so that starts the beginning of their interaction with you.
Absolutely.
And this will happen when you go to escrow to sign your documents. The notary will be there. And most escrow agents do have a notary stamp themselves.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of times you can use the ones that they have a person in-house who does that. So, which is super convenient and nice. And like so the escrow officers are also have notaries then, I would think, right? Because of the fact that they're kind of dual purpose, right?
A lot of them do. Yes. A lot of the escrow officers can sign their clients and notarize the paperwork. So yes.
Yeah. Perfect. But there's some times where, I mean, like right now I've got, two military families, and I've had military families in the past, and you might have the wife here and the husband stationed over in Japan, or, I mean, I had one just closed recently that was like that. I had a client in Japan, and, he can't walk into the escrow place and get signed. So
yeah, and that actually just happened with us too. Same thing, Japan. The kink that happened was that not only were they overseas, husband had to go on a 2-week deployment right in the middle of everything. So we had to have a power of attorney. And then you have to allow enough time for those papers to be sent back. The good thing is when you have that power of attorney, there is a legal department on the military bases. And because like in Japan, their standard paper size is actually different than ours. We are very unique. We're one of the only countries that use the 8.5 by 11 and the 8.5 by 14 paperwork. Most other countries use a different standard paper. So it was perfect for us to be able to be on an American military base. They were able to print out the documents, have everything notarized right there. And then there's also a US post office right there on base. So they were able just to send them out. So they said it was going to come by October 2nd. It actually wound up coming in on September 30th, which was our close date. So it came in here. We got it in on time. And actually, I just have a transaction right now. My borrower had to go down to San Diego for TDY. It's called temporary duty orders. And she signed with a mobile notary at 6 a.m. this morning. They were willing to meet with her. So it's great. They just met at a Starbucks and they were able to get all the documents so that we can get them overnighted back to us.
So they work crazy hours like we do. Cool.
They do. I think we really work to accommodate.
I want to ask you a question though. So the power of attorney. So I know like a lot of times you might get a husband out and or the wife out or whatever. I'm just using the husband wife. It could be like partners or whatever.
We can just say service member.
The service member, but he might or she might be out, and then you have another person who they have the power of attorney. Can they sign for that person? Do you know? I don't know that. And then I know that you do have to make sure that, a lot of times in those situations where you might have one party, you do need to get power of attorney. And so that's an important piece of document that the escrow company I know usually takes care of. I know about them. I never had to actually work with them though, really, because that's more of the closing end, and I don't deal with that as much. I know you do more so.
Yeah, and there's actually something key that I can share that I didn't know before now. So, yes, they have to have a power of attorney. It does get reviewed by our legal department to make sure that it has all the verbiage that it needs for closing a home, because sometimes people have general powers of attorney, but this needs to be a specific power of attorney. So not only that, you cannot electronically sign documents. If you're signing on behalf of your spouse, you need to ink sign every single document. So it's a little more tedious. And the one thing that we found out is the original power of attorney needs to be recorded with the deed of trust. That almost became an issue because hubby took the original with him when he went to sea, and thankfully they had to come in and fuel, because otherwise we would have been out of luck. But it was an interesting situation. Talk about a stressful one. That was biting our nails the whole, I think like the whole week before closing.
One thing here in Bremerton, it is more of a military. I mean, it's a military community, so we have a lot of military families, and so this really kind of applies to them and stuff, because you really need to get the power of attorney, and you need to get we have to work with a great escrow company who has the means to get things signed too. So there's some different types of notaries as well. I mean, we talked about, sometimes you have to meet face to face and have that. I've had them where they do an online one before too. Have you had those?
Yes, they're not as popular. They're actually working hard to get it into the mortgage industry, but it hasn't been 100% approved.
Yeah, I think I had one time that it was a while back, but they did it online. Okay. So again, they have them at banks. I know that they have banks, like when you have to go do that, they have them there. So title companies, attorneys' offices, those are usually some of the places that you can get them. They have mobile ones that will meet you, like your person said, that will come to you. And then they do the remote online ones as well. And like I said, I've only seen that really happen one time. I think usually they try to do the in-person one. So, but I know sometimes with the military that they have to do remote. So.
Yeah, and notaries are not always only used for mortgages. There's a lot of paperwork, attorneys need them. So that's why you said at an attorney's office, they have them. But a lot of banking documents, if you're getting a loan, those also need to be notarized. So yeah, it's very interesting to know that it's not just that you need to have notarized.
And with fraud going up here in the real estate industry and in the banking industry, I mean, it's like that's where we're getting hit a lot. So they're so important, because they do make sure that it's the proper people who are signing and stuff. Because if you're selling your home and you're not the person who's really selling it, the person who sold their home isn't selling it, and the person's walked with a bunch of money. So it happens.
I actually have a quick story about that. One of my coworkers is a notary. And she was sent to an assisted living facility to have a purchase and sale agreement notarized by this older woman. And she just felt like something was off about it. And the nurses said, I haven't heard anything. Usually her daughter is always here. She communicates with us a lot. And she would have let us know if they were selling the house. Come to find out, it was actually someone a company was trying to purchase this home from underneath this elderly woman in a skilled nursing facility. And the woman was willing to sign the paperwork. She probably had some, form of dementia or Alzheimer's, and she was willing to sign it. But thankfully, my coworker went with her gut instinct and said, nope, we're not going to do it. So sorry, my dogs are a little wild and restless in the background. They want to go outside.
I know Cujo, it's Halloween time. I'm teasing. You got sweet dogs. So yes, and I've had calls too where it's like people are trying to sell land, for instance. That's a big one. Land, I've got sellers, and it's like you're not the right person. It's just, you can just tell by their letters, the way that their letters are written a lot of times. But anyway, that's really all we got for you today. I think you guys, hopefully you got some good information. And I didn't know that Japan had different style or sizes of paper that I did.
Yeah.
So I learned something new too.
Learn something new. That's why we do these.
We appreciate you joining us today, and would love to see you back next time. Please ask questions if there's something that you want to hear or know more about. We'd love to information and present that for you. And we're gonna go ahead and I have my ending today. Let's see. Nope, no ending today. That's it. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a good time. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Maybe it won't let me do it. This is the most interesting thing. They just added this feature, and maybe no.